Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So the first question from my end is a person who is deaf required to pray, and how exactly do they pray? So a person who is deaf should pray. They still have that obligation to pray. But as we've said before, there's ease within our religion, right? And there are certain accommodations that would have to be made or could be made, right? So they basically have to learn exactly how to pray for themselves. But if jama'ah, if they're following a congregation, there are certain excuses or leniencies that they have that can be made with their eyesight, for example. So they could look at the person who's next to them, or even better would be the person in front of them, just to help coordinate their movements and make sure that they're in sync. And even in sujood, they are allowed to sense or they're allowed to look over to the person next to them, again, to see when exactly they should get up and coordinate and be able to follow along with the congregational prayer. Ultimately, yes, a person who is deaf is still required to pray. And as for how they pray, as I said before, they do kind of have to figure out how exactly to pray for themselves and what works for them. But they perform the salah according to their ability. So if this is a deaf individual who doesn't speak, they're not required to say anything. And for them, the salah would just be the movements and the actions, and that's what's sufficient for them. Right. But perhaps, of course, in their heart and their mind, they'll be thinking about the meanings and their intentions. And that'll be the only thing for them. But of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows their intentions.